Hey everybody, this is D. Halleck with Scenario Arms. Today I'm going to show you how to mod your own Euro Sniper heavy machine gunner foregrip. The X36 foregrip from Tippmann, though a good likeness of what assault rifle they were trying to go for without getting in trouble, you can see how it doesn't bear a close similarity to the real thing, but it does give you a good look for it at an inexpensive cost. However, if you would like to try to attempt a mod for yourself to get more of a realistic looking replica foregrip, here you go. First, you have to buy this foregrip from evike.com. That's the best place to get it for the high quality airsoft gun parts. And this is a Matrix G36, well, MG36 and SL8 foregrip. So it has folding bipod legs that go up nice and tight against the bottom of the foregrip. These are very strong composite plastic. I stopped offering the bipod legs on the standard Euro Sniper kit because the very inexpensive airsoft guns, the plastic was very flexible and it would shatter easily. So now we only offer this type, which is top of the line airsoft parts. So to start off, you need to order this. You need a stock X7 foregrip, and you need some 2-part epoxy. I prefer DevCon plastic welder. The stuff is awesome. It doesn't stink up your house like rotten eggs or anything, and it cures in about 10 minutes, and it's rock hard. I love the stuff. And then you just need your handy dandy Dremel, which I have on a 2-foot extension right here, so I could just use it easily, have the Dremel actually hanging from the ceiling right now at my shoulder height. But that's all you really need for this mod. So to get started, we're going to take our stock X7 foregrip, and from the back, right here where it butts up against the top of the X7, you want to measure 3 1/4 inches on the top rail and make a mark at 3 1/4 inches. Now you're going to take your mark, take this to a chop saw or some type of cutting power tool you have, preferably with parental supervision if you're under 18, and you want to chop it down in length so it is now this long. We could make it a little shorter, but we have it at this length so it can be used on the regular X7 as well as the Phenom, because of that big giant magwell on the Phenom that we all hate. We have to have it slightly longer so that it will clear the big boxy magwell on it. So we have our foregrip cut down to 3 1/4 inches on the top. Now, let's see here. On a stock X7, you can see how after you take the side rails off, you have this little ridge right here, running down this length. That's where the side rail rests. You need to take some sandpaper or some type of sanding instrument. It could be your Dremel if you want. It doesn't matter because the side's going to be hidden by the foregrip. And you want to shave that off on both sides so that it's rounded. You have to do that, otherwise this won't be able to slide into the foregrip properly. So sand the edges so it's rounded somewhat. And also the bottom rails, you want to chop off the bottom rails. You need that to decrease the overall height. Otherwise, your foregrip, when it's inserted inside, is going to be sitting up really high in there. So when you take off the bottom rails, it'll make it get sucked down a little bit and it'll look a lot better. So with the bottom rail off, the side shaved rounded, it now inserts a lot better. So right now that's the first thing you need to do, is make the measurements and cut on your stock foregrip. Taking off those edges allow it to slide right inside there. And then you can also see with the bottom rails gone how you have a little bit of space right in there. That's all going to get filled up by the epoxy. Okay, now we have this inserted fine, but this won't go on the phenom right now, or an X7 for that matter, because of the cyclone. It butts right up against the back of it. So we are going to need to actually chop off some of the plastic on the back side here. And where do you do that, you ask? Take your foregrip that you've shaved down to size, insert it in, and now look on the back, the cyclone side, right here, and where your two push pin holes are, right there, you come right in the front just a tiny little bit and just make a little mark right there, because the cyclone stops about halfway through the push pin hole right about here. So by cutting just about 1/4 of an inch in front of it, plenty of clearance there. Continue the line, and yes, I'm using a popsicle stick. You use what you can when you can't find your ruler. Continue that line so it goes down the length of your foregrip right there, and you have it come all the way down. You can see on the bottom where there's the lip right here. Have it come right down to this crease and then straight back. And you're going to cut this area off right back there. Alright folks, we just went to the saw and we cut off on the cyclone side of the foregrip. We cut off that area. So that will allow the cyclone to sit up right in here, and it'll go on no problem. We took our shaved down foregrip, or stock foregrip, and we put it onto, right now I'm using a phenom, you could do this with an X7, but I'm showing you how to do it so it'll fit on a phenom, so here you go. It's the same exact process for a regular X7. Put the top push pin in, and now you can see how it just slides in, and it goes in almost perfectly. But there is a little gap right here. Why is that? Because when you flip it over, these two little prongs that are on the bottom of the foregrip butt up right against that big nasty giant magwell, which we all hate. So the only way around that is to remove them. Just nip those off. So now we have removed the two little prongs that were sticking out from the back bottom of the foregrip. Now it will slide perfectly right in there, no gap on the top, nothing between the rails there. That'll sit in nice and tight, and also that gives us this nice tiny little space right here between the magwell and the foregrip, so that later on when we get an aftermarket, preferably one of ours, magazines, and put it up onto the phenom, it'll allow enough clearance right there for whatever magazine we get to replace the little stubby unfortunate thing that it came with. So now it's fitted properly. You can see on the back side how there is space for the cyclone. I did actually chop off just a little bit too far down on the foregrip, but we're going to fill that up with Bondo and epoxy anyway, so that won't really be a big deal. So the next thing to do is we're going to epoxy the stock foregrip into the new foregrip.